Hey, good morning, everybody. So I know that it's 9 a.m., not 9 p.m., and I'm going live, but I'm a little tired and I'm very tired and starting to feel a little under the weather again. So I don't plan on doing a live tonight. So I wanted to take a minute, do one this morning. That way, at least it's out here. You guys can see it. You guys can share it, and then I can rest this evening. So that's the plan, and that's the reason for this unexpected live at this weird time of the day. So hey, what's up, Chris? Hey, Melissa. Good morning. Do me a favor, guys, and share, just because I need people to know that I'm doing a live right now instead of tonight. Hi, Suzanne. Good morning, W. Scott. How are you? Hey, Jamie, I did see your message. There's a bajillion of them, and yesterday was just so hectic. I haven't had time to get in and read all of them. I literally woke up to more messages this morning. Good morning, Hale. Good morning, Tammy. Hey, Alfred. Um, hey, Jamie. And and I don't feel bad. It's just I'm just tired. And so remember when I was sick 2 weeks ago and I took some medicine to kind of stop all the runny nose and all that? That sinus stuff is draining down, and it's kind of gotten into my chest a little bit. So I have a little bit of a cough with a little bit of a wheeze at the end. And so I just want to rest today. I say that and we'll see what happens, but I want to rest more than usual today. Let me say that. I want to rest more than usual today, just because I want to get on top of things. My head hurts and stuff. So good morning, everybody. So I want to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of information. As you can see, I posted this morning, Ballad Health submitted for their plan to downgrade the NICU at Holston Valley Medical Center on November 12th. Here's what we know. We know that the State Health Department and the Attorney General's office has until 90 days from that time in order to approve or disapprove that change. Now, what I can tell you is that earlier this week, I spoke directly with Janet Kleinfelter, who is the Deputy Attorney General for the Public Interest Division, and she told me on, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday of this week, that she had talked directly to Ballad Council and had informed them that they were not going to make that decision prior to that 90-day deadline, and maybe even later than that. She told me that, and I actually have the third letter. It's in the private Facebook group that I created, guys, but there's a third letter that Alan Levine has sent to them trying to explain and justify why the NICU needs to be downgraded. And he sent that on December 6th. And even after receiving that third letter from him, they went back and said, no, we need more documentation, more information, more justification for this. So far, Ballad Health has sent 3 letters trying to get this NICU closure approved, and to date, the state has said no, that's not good enough, and they have said they're not going to make that decision until at least 90 days from November 12th, would be around the middle of February, and possibly later than that. So that's where we are. What's interesting about this is they have received no approval. The state has not said, yes, you can close the Holston Valley NICU, and yet Ballad Health is behaving as if they have. Now, for me, call me crazy, but that's just an act of bad faith. You are demonstrating that you have no respect for your COPA oversight. You have no consideration for the Attorney General or for the State Health Department. And if that's the case, you can't be trusted to honor the commitments and the requirements of this COPA, which for me means, okay, we need to hit the pause button on this thing. And either you get your shit in line, Ballad, sorry for my language, y'all, but either you get it in line or you get gone. The name of the Facebook group is Citizens Advocacy - Ballad Health. Good morning, everybody. So here's what they did. So last night in Wise County, just so you guys know, they brought an army. They brought security with them again. The same security guy. Good morning, Roger. The same security guy that they had come and sit in front of me in Kingsport. They had him. They had him at the Wise County Board of Supervisors as well. And then they had like 10 or 12 Ballad. They had at least like 10 or 12 Ballad folks that were at the meeting last night, which was funny because it was just Tim, me and Dr. Spivey. And I'm thinking, geez, if the three of us can bring out 12 of you guys, right? Like, we're talking about the CEO of that whole area was out. Lisa Carter was there. Eric Deaton was there. Like, the CFO was there from that area. I mean, it was a lot of them that came out last night. And of course, they brought Dr. Testerman and Dr. Oh my gosh, whoever the trauma surgeon is in Johnson City, who I cannot. But they brought both of those guys. And here's what Ballad did. They got very, very long-winded. They took over their 45 minutes that they were allotted, probably closer to an hour, maybe even a little more than that. And then I told Dr. Spivey to go ahead and go first because they were talking about trauma at the time and they were asking questions about trauma. So, I wanted to give him a time. Yeah, Amber, Dr. Burns. I wanted to give him time to go ahead and address trauma. So, and he was a little bit longer. And so bottom line is, by the time it got to me, the chair, who's, her name is Kilgore. I think it's Pat, but I'm not sure. But she said she didn't want, I told her that I would keep it short and that I would just hit the highlights. And she literally said to me, well, you can have 3 minutes. Now, 3 minutes is the same amount of time that they give public comments. And I was on there as a presenter, right? So whatever. I literally just said, I said, okay, Dana, thank you, Amber. Dana Kilgore is her name. And I said, so wait a minute, you want to give me 3 minutes to do the entire NICU portion? And she said, yeah. And I said, okay. And I said, well, I personally think that your babies deserve more than 3 minutes, but I'll give you 3 minutes. So here's what I did. I probably used maybe 3.5, 4 minutes, maybe 5, I don't know, but it wasn't very long. But what I did was I wanted to be very impactful. So the first thing that I said, prior to me getting up there, one of the board members had asked, was there anyone else who could change these decisions that Ballad had made? Was there anyone else that Ballad reported to? And Eric Deaton replied that these decisions had been made and that they were included in the COPA agreement. And so, no, there really wasn't. So when I got up there, the first thing that I did was I addressed that question. And I said, well, you asked the question about COPA oversight, and you asked the question, is there anybody that Ballad reports to in these decisions? And the answer is yes. You do still have options. You do still have power. And I said, if you will turn to page 2 of the first document in your packet, you will see bullet point 5 says that at any point in time, this COPA can be modified or terminated, blah, 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 blah. And they all open their packets to look and see that it does in fact say. So this is what I don't think that people understand. The COPA is a living, breathing document that governs the next 10 years. So at any point in time, guys, that we can prove that the disadvantages to the public are greater than the advantages of this merger and no competition, the COPA can be modified or terminated. And that's what I really want everybody to understand. Now, with that comes a whole lot, right? But what I'm saying is we have options. And I really feel like if we hold Ballad's feet to the fire and say, listen, you're going to lose the whole damn COPA, then they might get in line a little bit better. They might have considerations. And then again, they might not. And that's the case, then we can do whatever. So exactly, Chris. And so I went on to clarify about what was included in the COPA. So here's what was included in the COPA. The COPA was included that there would be a level 1 trauma center consolidation. It did not stipulate that consolidation needed to be in Johnson City. That was not in the COPA. Just that consolidation would happen, and we understood that to happen, right? Bristol being downgraded from a level 2 to a level 3 was not included in the COPA, and there was nothing about the NICU including in the COPA. So what I think is that by lumping all of these 3 changes together, Ballad was hoping to slip the other 2 in with the one that was already approved, and it's not working out on their behalf. The second thing that I said to the Board of Supervisors last night that I also posted this morning is they are acting as if the NICU has already been approved, and it has not. And this is the 2017 brochure. So if you're going to have a baby in 2017 and you were going to come to Holston Valley, this is the brochure that you got. And what you'll see is on page 2 of this brochure, there's a whole section about the NICU unit, right? An entire section about the neonatal unit and what it means and what it is and all of those different things. This is the 2018 brochure, okay? This is page 2. This is the section about our birthing experts. And what it says is, board certified neonatologists and other experts on call 24 hours a day for the care of sick newborns. Perinatologists on call 24 hours a day for the consult and care of high risk or complicated pregnancies. There's nothing in here about the NICU. They have had these printed up. They have spent this money as if it's already been approved, and it has not. They are putting these out into physicians' doctors' offices right now. There are people getting these brochures right now. So Ballad Health is operating in bad faith outside of this COPA, and they are telling people by looking at this pamphlet that they are closing the NICU, which is not accurate, which is not what's been agreed upon. And it's a direct example of just what they believe they can do. They want to bully the community. They want to bully the doctors. They want to bully the state health department. They want to bully the freaking attorney general's office as if you have no say. So folks, this is important stuff. Like this right here tells you what they think. It's exactly, Susanna, it's false advertising at the very least. So what I want you all to understand is they are trying to circumvent and undermine the truth. Like that's the facts. I listened to them do it all last night. Now check this out. Here's what's interesting. I have been to several hearings where Ballad Health has given their presentation. Last night's presentation was different. So let me tell you, one of the first things out of Eric Deaton's mouth and Lisa Carter's, all of a sudden, they wanted to talk about NAS babies and opioid addictions. Wonder why that is. Could that possibly be because I in my presentation at Washington County, I talked about the NAS problem that Southwest Virginia has and Sullivan County has and the opioid addiction and how closing this NICU is going to be detrimental, not just for the babies, but for their families. Right? So they did. They changed their presentation. It was interesting. Tim got up there and said, you know, I've seen this presentation 5 times and I was surprised. You guys did a good job changing your presentation up. Great job, Eric. And he turned around because their PowerPoint literally had yesterday's date on it. They are scrambling to stay ahead of the little bit that we are doing. So I want to say this to you guys, everybody who is sending me information, sending me pictures, giving me, you know, data, giving me documentation and proof, it is working. It is working. This organization, Ballad Health, is scrambling to try to keep up with us. We country bumpkins are giving them a run for their money, and we're just getting started. So I want you all to be encouraged by that. I want you to continue to send me information and documentation. I do have something else that hit my inbox today. I got to pray about it and see when I need to post it, but we're going to talk about it. So here's what we know. We know that the changes with Allendale are happening. We know that they have this cancer center that's behind Indian Path. And I may have said yesterday it's in Indian Path. What I mean is it's a location that's directly behind Indian Path. But the way that it works is if a facility is within 250 yards or something to that effect, guys, don't quote me on the measurements. I need to look it up again, but it qualifies as being hospital based. That's why they're redoing this building for the cancer treatments and the infusion centers, because they can charge the extra fees. So we know that that's happening, and we know that they never they never asked, could they do that? There's been nothing submitted to the COPA department to get them to do anything different. Here's what I will tell you guys. A bunch of you guys get on this live and you tell me that you have documentation about your bills. You tell me that you have before the merger bills and after the merger bills, or you have when you were being treated at Allendale, and then you have bills when you were being treated at the new infusion facility. Here's what I will tell you. You have to send it to me. If you don't send it to me, you tie my hands. Send it to me, Tiff. Send me what you have, guys. The more documentation I have, the better off. Yesterday, I sent several emails to my contact at the National News Organization and said, here's some more. There's an open file there where a story is being built, right? I'm not just working it with the Attorney General and I will tell you this, that yesterday, the governor's office called me yesterday. Okay? So here's the deal. They called me yesterday to let me know that the legal counsel portion of the governor's office is looking into John Drosner's conflict of interest. And shout out to Crystal, because I'm going to post this later. But I've asked you guys to do some digging for me because I can't do it all by myself. And I'm only one person, and you guys have been amazing in finding out information. So one of the things that she sent me yesterday was John Drosner's statement of disclosure. And it very clearly lists on here, which there's a couple of them that I want to look at, but his statement of disclosure of interest, he absolutely lists Starfish Health PLLC, which is his wife's company that has a contract with Ballad Health. He lists his wife. He also lists Senior Life Solutions. I need someone to look into Senior Life Solutions out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Find out what that company is. Do they have any associations with Ballad Health? Is that something else that we need to be concerned about? What's happening there? And so those were some things that got to me. Right. So how many signatures are needed for the union? Okay, let's talk about the union piece. Okay. So when it comes to having a union, and you can determine whether you guys are going to have to say, because right now, I put it out there because nurses had asked me. You all need to decide if it's going to be a nurses union or if it's going to be a total union, right? Awesome, Crystal. Thank you. I figured you might have. And so I will also tell you this. I have some information from you guys from the nurses union that already exists in Norton. There may be a way to just umbrella underneath that. I don't know. Because I've never set up a union before. Here's what I will tell you, is close to 200 nurses since yesterday afternoon around 3-ish have registered and said, yes, I want a union. So that's a good number. So I want you to keep those coming. Understand that all of those names are coming to me. This is in no way, shape, or form related to Ballad. It's not going to Ballad. What will happen is I will continue to get all of those names together. And when it's time for a vote, so let me tell you the way that this works. In order to get a union, you need 50% of the total number of nurses, which somebody get that for me because I don't know what that is, but you need more than 50%. You need 51%, right? Tiffany, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. Let me try to get that answer for you. But here's the deal. So it's 51% in order to get the union to pass. So what they say is that you want 65% to have said yes, so that when you actually take the vote, you get greater than 50%. Now, here's what has to happen is everybody actually has to sign a union card, which of course you don't have right now. But what we did was, by setting up this online deal, it allows us to at least get a gauge for how many of you there are to see if this is even something valid that we can make happen. Now, so what can happen is, hold on, Eileen. Hold on, sweetheart. Ask me that again in just a second. Let me finish this thought, okay? And so Tiffany, I don't know. Those are questions that that I have to have answered. Even if you can't umbrella under them, they may be able to support you in the process and getting it done, if that makes sense. So let me finish this. Okay, so here's what has to happen. You want to have 65% actually have signed a union card. So when it's time to vote, you'll have greater than that 51%. So here's what will happen is, once we get at least 65% that have registered and said, yes, we want a union, then I will send out a mass communication to everybody who has registered. And we will pick like a couple of different days and a couple of different times and places where we will meet for you to sign your union card. By doing it this way, I won't have to put the information out publicly. I will be able to email that information to you directly. And that's what can happen. So Michelle, that's what I was saying, is you guys have to decide, is it going to be a nurses union or is it going to be a total employee union? That's what needs to be determined. So here's what I would say is, go ahead and register now anyway. And there's a little thing that says what hospital. So when you put in the hospital that you're at, if you are not a nurse, but you're still employed at the hospital, then I would suggest putting the hospital and then putting like what your job is. out to the side of that. And matter of fact, I could go in and maybe update it today, and I could put one for like hospital and what your title is or what your job position is. I can add that to the form. So because maybe we can get 65% of employees, even if it's not 65% of nurses. Okay. So that's what's happening there. Here's what's really, really important. Hold on a second. I'm trying to read, guys. Yeah. So, and here's the thing, right? I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any of those things. I'm trying to help the best way that I know how. And some of this stuff I'm researching as I go along. So just bear with me. You know, I'm not going to have the answers to every question right off the bat, but I'm working on it. Okay. So, so you guys do some digging on the union stuff. What I wanted to provide for you was a safe way to explore the option. So if you can explore the option through me without having to worry about Ballad knowing who you are and knowing that you've said, yes, you want a union, then at least we get a truer identity of the numbers. Okay. Now I want to just recap and get off of here really quickly. Okay. So here's what we know. We know that, a lot of good information came out of Wise County last night. Holston Valley Medical Center can hold 2 helicopter pads. Johnson City can only hold 1. Johnson City has 2 trauma beds, and Holston Valley has like 4 or 5. Hey, Daryl, there's nothing about this choice to move it to Johnson City that makes sense other than the fact that they want Johnson City to be safety net and get more money, blah, 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 blah. I want to just clear up a couple of misconceptions around pediatric trauma and pediatric urgent cares. Okay. I want you guys to understand this. So when it comes to pediatric emergency rooms, we don't need them. Okay. We don't need them. Yeah. Jackie and Chris did that. I need to go watch it because I was in Wise and didn't get a chance to, but and I will tell you this, there is another piece coming. There's another piece coming on WJHL probably sometime next week. So again, send me the documentation that I've asked you for. This is what I'm going to tell you guys. If you want more and more help from the news, send me the freaking documentation that you tell me that you have and that I'm asking you for. Got it? Y'all got it? So because that's just extremely important. It's the only way that we can make things happen again. So, but anyway, so I want you all to understand when they talk about pediatric trauma, we have very little of it in this area. And so the 20,000 pediatric ER visits that they refer to happening in Bristol and Kingsport were more like pediatric urgent cares. We don't need pediatric traumas. We don't need pediatric emergency rooms. We need 2 pediatric urgent cares in this area. That's all we need. I just want y'all to, really start to think about some of this stuff. Hey, Amber, you're welcome. Because it just doesn't make sense. There's so many holes in this plan that it's ridiculous. But today, here's what I need you to do today. Today, I need you to go to the post that I just put up, and I want you to call Judy Connect. I want you to call Janet Kleinfelter. I want you to call Meredith Vitality at the governor's office. And I want you to let them know that Ballad Health is making changes that is at a greater disadvantage to the public than this merger is. Just the existence. So this is the thing, guys. Just the fact that these hospitals are staying, quote unquote, open doesn't make it a public advantage. What advantage is it if the hospitals are open, but yet they're operating with 30% of the abilities that they had previously? What advantage is it if the hospitals stay open, but you have to pay $10,000, $20,000, $25,000 for transport from one to the next? What advantage is it, right? If they're taking stuff away and you now have to travel an extra 20 to 40 minutes to get care during that golden hour where you need it the most. Y'all got it? So this is the language of the COPA. The COPA is a disadvantage to the public. There's a greater disadvantage to the public than the advantage they have of not having competition and being merged. So when you talk to your folks, you need to let them know that this is what's happening. Surgery centers are being closed. You know, equipment is being moved. I literally got more pictures today from another hospital where massive changes have taken place, massive changes. And people are having to be transported much further away for surgeries, and they're even bypassing closer hospitals, you know? So these are the things that you want to talk about. So let them know, hey, this NICU has not been approved. You want proof that Ballad doesn't care you have approved it, you haven't approved it? Well, look at their brochures that they printed up. They obviously don't care that you haven't approved it because they're printing things up as if they already have permission when they don't. Okay? So that's what happens when you're used to elitism, when you're used to being part of, you know, this group that just can do whatever you want. So in Hawkins County, so here's what I'm going to tell y'all. I am going to Hawkins County on Monday. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay? Hawkins County, don't try to give me 3 minutes when I come. Who you guys better call every single one of your folks. Every single one of your Hawkins County councilmen, you better call them. It is David, it is. Matter of fact, the post that I just put up with the pictures of the brochures, their names and phone numbers are right there, along with what they've done, okay? So, but I'm just gonna tell y'all go ahead and call Hawkins County. Go ahead and call Hawkins County. Because last night I traveled an hour and a half from home, and they gave me 3 minutes to talk about something that's not for my children, but for theirs. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. So, yeah, I don't know. Your representatives need to want to help you as much as I want to help you. And you guys need to help yourselves as much as I'm trying to help you. Morning, Terry, baby. How are you? So I just wanted to give you guys that piece of information so that you all have it, so that you know what's happening. Email me. Here's what I need. If you want to make my freaking day, I need one of you all who either is getting MS treatments, Remicade, chemo, infusions, injections, those types of things. And if you were getting them at a different facility prior to this merger, right? If you were getting treatments and your costs have increased astronomically because they are now making you go to the facility that's behind Indian Path and all of that, yes, non-residents can attend. Numbers would be amazing, yes. Then I need your bills. I need your documentation that shows me your before Ballad and after Ballad prices. Because when I have that, I have a couple of people's ear that I can really try to get some more traction. We have traction, folks. I'm getting notifications saying, hey, Nashville is paying attention. Nashville's paying attention. I'm getting told that, right? So what I'm telling you is that while we have their attention, we need to maximize it with proof and with documentation. So I need you to go request your bills, because I know you can't get the itemized one. Go down there and get your bills, get the itemized bills, get your itemized medical records. Hawkins County is Monday morning. I believe there's one meeting that starts at 6, and then the portion that I'm at starts at 7 is my understanding. It's Monday, the 17th though. Okay. Just so you guys know, Lee County has already passed a resolution against the trauma closure. So Lee County has, Scott County has, Sullivan County has. The indication last night was that Wise is going to, because when they all talked about it, they all said that they were against it, and they all said that they had extreme concerns. And then when, what's his name? Burleson, I think is his name. He was going to, he said, you know, well, I don't think there's any reason to wait. We should just call for a vote. And it was the chairwoman, Dana Kilgore, who said, well, I don't think we need to rush into anything. We got a lot of good information that we need to look over. I don't think we need to rush into anything. And he was like, well, we're not rushing. They literally all just commented, and they all said that they had severe concerns about this, and they were against the changes that Ballad was making, and yet she didn't want to take a vote. And he was afraid to press the issue in case it didn't. Thank you, Christy. Fred Lunsford wanted to do it last night. Thank you. I'm so glad that y'all are here to back me up because my brain is mush and I'm tired. So Lisa, here's what I have been told. I have been told that they are using a different, I've been told, and I don't know this, so let me just put that disclaimer out there. I have been told that they are using a different chemo. I've been told that they are using a different, less expensive chemo, but I do not know that to be fact. So, which is why you don't hear me talk about it. So when you say, hey, you swear the chemo seems a little different, I can tell you that I've heard that as well, but do not know it to be true for fact, okay? So, all right, folks, that's all I got. I'm actually going to go drink some of my mama's hot tea with some honey in it and push the water and try to get organized. I have a lot of information that I want to get organized to be even more impactful. Like I feel like I've been running a race for like 3 weeks straight, and I just need to take today to kind of rest and put it. Kingsport City, I do not know. Kingsport Mayor, Board of Mayor and Aldermen, are they going to vote? I'm sure they are. When are they going to vote? I don't know. What is the outcome going to be? Heck if I know. Especially the way there were only 2 members of that board that I saw that had the balls to stand up and say, hey, this is what we want. So I have been told that as well, Jamie. So, all right, you guys, make sure you make your phone calls, please. Yeah, I'm familiar with doTERRA. So here's the thing, Amber, I have oils and stuff. They're in Atlanta though. I didn't bring like everything with me. I didn't plan to be here for 3 weeks. So, but, Tiffany, send me that in an email. I gotta go, guys. Yeah, Tiffany, send me that. Okay. So I gotta go. Y'all know how I end this thing, right? Be amazing, be light, be love, peace. I'm out.